How do we cope with other people's perfectionism? Which means, how do we cope with other people's comments and interventions and unsolicited advice on, for example, how confident we should be, how much we should work, which work suits us most, how we should parent our children, how we should dress, how we should clean our house. You get the message, right? Hi, I'm Vasi Sarandopoulou. I'm your trusted psychologist and I'm here to help you understand yourself more, but also your relationships. You may already have learned a couple of tools on how to deal with your own perfectionism if you have been watching the AntiLoneliness channel. But we haven't actually talked about what to do with other people's perfectionism. And what do we mean with other people's perfectionism? What is it that we're actually talking about? We are talking about the pressure that other people put on us in order to make us perfect, according to their own values, according to their own criteria, to their own standards. And even though we don't agree with these rules and with these standards, we don't actually know that we don't agree. We put a lot of effort into making ourselves comply with these because we don't know that this is not our rules, our standards of life. So as you can understand, these criteria, these standards, this pressure is pushing us a lot. These people are comparing us according to their own standards all the time. And this is, as you can understand, very exhausting, but also very hurtful. To give you an example, or to give you more examples, your mother may criticize you for the way you clean your house and whether your house is clean and tidy every day according to her own standards. Your partner might judge you for your work or for how hard you work on your job and how hard you should be working, or how confident you should be, or how you should talk to your boss. Your friends are judging you or are judging your relationship because they feel that you should be with a different person. Perfectionists are all around us. Perfectionists that know what or think they know what we want, and they always have an opinion about our whereabouts, about our behaviors and decisions, about our likes and our dislikes. And they actually make us feel that we can never do the right thing. We never make the right decision, and that's a lot of pressure. And it's very heartbreaking sometimes. So let's start changing that. Let's start setting some boundaries into this behavior. The first thing that I would like to ask you to think is, and that's going to be your number one step in order to set boundaries to these perfectionists, to these people who are trying to impose their perfectionistic mindset on you. The first thing that I would like to do is think about what it is that you value, what it is that you find as important in your life, and what does success mean according to your standards. What are your values and goals in life so that you can feel that you lead a fulfilling life? If you know what's important for you, then you can actually stand up for yourself. You can defend yourself in a stronger way. If you don't know what's important for you, it's much easier, as you can understand, to comply and adjust to other people's standards. And when you do that for a long time, you are ending up feeling frustrated at the end of the day for doing what others feel important, but you don't know why this is important. But now you know, So in order to reverse that, we have to go back to the beginning, find your values. In other words, find what is important for you in order to be happy, satisfied, fulfilled. Find what matters for you. Does this job matter for you? Does cleaning your house to an excessive degree matters for you? Find what is important for you. When you find that, it's easier to go back to the person that projects their perfectionistic expectations on you and set a boundary with what you consider as important. So, for example, if your house is messy and another person judges you for the house being in that state, it's much easier for you to go back to this person and say, I'm sorry, but this is important for you, but not for me. This is not what I have set as a priority in my life. This is not what gives me joy. This is what gives you joy. I prefer spending my time having fun with my partner and my kids than having a perfectly clean and tidy house. And that's something that nobody can tell you no or why you do that or you shouldn't. That's your decision. It's clear that it's your priority. That what gives you joy and happiness and fulfillment in life. Nobody can say no to that. Nobody can say no, you shouldn't be happy that way. You should be happy that way. So this is very important for you to find your values and your standards. That's the first thing. Second question for you. We very often talk about other people's ideas and perfectionism. Who is others? When you say others will judge me or other people's perfectionism, who is others? Let's define that. Let's make it more specific. Usually when I ask my clients this question, it takes them a couple of minutes to define who are these people. Others can be something very abstract. Other people will judge me. What will other people say? And if it's abstract, sometimes it conveys the message that it's a generalized fear we have about being embarrassed, abandoned, humiliated, or ashamed. So let's make it more specific. Who are these others? These people that you think that will judge you? Is it somebody from your past, maybe a friend, maybe a bully that indeed judged you in the past? Is it maybe your parents or a teacher? Is it indeed an important person in your current life? So for example, maybe it's your boss or your mentor or your coach or your partner or a member of your family or your parents? Yes, okay, maybe these are important people indeed for you. However, let me ask you another thing to reframe what you think that these important people can do to you. If these people are important in your life, why do you think that they will be so critical to you and they will judge you for everything that you choose and they will not have a place of acceptance for you so that you have now only to comply and you have no opportunity to do otherwise, to fail or to go your own way? Let's redefine what do you think as important person. A person is entitled to be named as important in your life only if they take you as you are, if they understand you, if they know your priorities, and only if they contribute to your happiness and your well-being. Otherwise, you're giving them space that they don't deserve. But most importantly, why do you think that their opinion is more important than yours? Why do you think that their priorities are more important and your priorities are not that important? Why do you think that you have to have the same ideas about life, about values, and about standards? They can have their own standards and you can have yours and you can perfectly coexist. Why do you spend so much time trying to figure out what they consider as important in order to see whether you fit in this standard or not? I know very well that compliance is a coping mechanism. I know that. We want to be liked by other people. This is how we're wired. We're wired for connection. We want to be liked. I know that. But let's put that aside. It's one thing to want to be liked and belonging in a group, in a system, in a community, and it's another thing to be defined, to be led, to be dictated by other people's priorities, standards, goals, and rules. That's another thing. Last but not least, remember this. If you comply to other people's perfectionism, that makes you also a perfectionist. So then we go back into the question whether you are a perfectionist because you have internalized all these messages and rules that you have heard from the outside world. So now you understand that boundaries is an important learning curve for a perfectionist. And boundaries means I know what's important for me. And I can stand by what I consider as my priority or a value in my life. That's the first and most important rule. And then, from this statement, you know how to stop other people. You know how to reply back to them when they're pushing you for something that it's not your priority. It's not what you value in life. You know that because it's strong already inside you. Does it make sense? Well, let me know if this helps. Let me know your questions in the comments. Let me know how it goes when you're trying to implement it in your life. And then let's take it from there. Don't forget to grab your free guide that I have created for you. If you don't know whether you are a perfectionist, that's what you need. It's a free guide on how much of a perfectionist you are. You can find it in the description. And it's a guide of all the 20 main features of perfectionism, and you can understand whether you are one of us. And then, when you know that, you can start reversing it. So thank you very much for being here. Check the description for more resources. I always put a lot of resources in the description for you. And of course, take a look at the AntiLoneliness Academy with more than 10 transformational courses that will get you unstuck and will help you find the life you want. And you can have access to all of them. You don't need to choose. Thank you very much for being here. Until next video, take good care of yourself.